Today's video is brought to you by SetApp, an app for every job already on your Mac. Hey, it's Chris. Happy 2019. Today's video is going to be focusing on Safari because Safari is so foundational to the entire Apple experience on the iPhone, the iPad, and the Mac. You might think that this is just a regular old bolt, but it's not. The top actually screws off, and there's a place inside where you can store something. It's hollow. And you might also think that this is just a regular old coin, but it's also hollow in the inside so that you can store something. Okay, I admit, I just had these spy things like laying around and I just wanted to work them into a video, so I did, but there actually is an application. You might think that you know everything about Safari, but it's actually hiding some really cool stuff on the inside. See how that connects? So what I wanna do is start off the video with just some basic tips for Safari users that more advanced people may think are kinda obvious, but I just wanna make sure we're all caught up, all on the same page before we move into some stuff that's maybe more surprising and get to some of the Mac tips as well. Probably the most useful thing that you can know in Safari for iOS is that tapping and holding almost all of the different buttons brings up some extra or non-obvious options. If you tap on the forward or backward arrow buttons, then you'll just navigate forward or backwards to sites you've already visited. But if you tap and hold, then you'll get a list of all the previously visited sites or pages that you can choose from. This is great for me because I often want to get back to something that I recently visited, but it's like a few pages back, so this makes it a lot quicker. A tap on the bookmark button shows you a list of bookmark sites, but if you tap and hold, you'll be able to add a bookmark or add something to your reading list. Just think about it. This is not very obvious. Like, how many people did not understand until right now how to add a bookmark in mobile Safari? Tapping in the URL bar obviously lets you add in websites, but if you tap and hold, you'll also get an option to paste and search to save yourself a step. If you're on a website that's able to be displayed in Safari's reader mode, which makes crazy websites easier to read and removes ads, try tapping and holding on that reader view button for options to automatically use it on that site or on all sites automatically. I tried that. I tried having the reader mode automatically load up on every website, and to be honest, I didn't really like it. I just want to do reader mode when I want to use it, I think. But maybe you'll like it, I don't know. But whenever you do use reader mode, you can change the font and the text size along with the background color. If you tap and hold on the reload button, then you're gonna get an option to request the desktop site, which is useful if the mobile version of a site doesn't give you all the features that you want. I think this simple ability to request the desktop site is gonna completely change a lot of people's perception of especially the iPad Pro, because a lot of people for school or work really need a more fully featured website or web app, and they just didn't know that they could get it this easily. Tapping and holding on the share button actually doesn't give you any extra options that I know of, but there are a couple useful buttons buried in that menu, like another way to request a desktop site or a way to search for text on a page. Now, I've covered this before, but a lot of people still don't realize that you can tap in the URL bar and type some text and then search for that text on the page you're on by scrolling down to the bottom of everything that pops up and looking on the On This Page section. So there's two different ways right there to search for text on a page. Tapping on that plus icon obviously opens up a new tab, but if you tap and hold, then you'll also see your recently closed tabs. Finally, tapping and holding on the tabs button reveals the option to close all your tabs, which can definitely be useful. So if you're OCD and you can't stand having all these different tabs open, or if you've done nothing but open new tabs since the day you unboxed your phone, then this could save you a lot of time. Of course, there's a bunch of really great keyboard shortcuts that can make your life a lot better if you're an iPad user. Probably my all-time favorite Safari keyboard shortcut is Command L, which jumps you right into the URL bar without even needing to tap there, which also works on the Mac. Command plus N, of course, opens up the side-by-side Safari windows, giving you a nice split view. And I actually heard a really interesting rumor the other day that Apple might bring that same split view within one app feature to a bunch of other apps in iOS 13, which I really hope happens because I really want split view Apple Notes. There's some other great keyboard shortcuts too, but I'm gonna just let you explore those. Just hold down the command key in any app to view those available shortcuts. All right, so we got some of those basic Safari for iOS tips kind of out of the way. Let's switch gears and talk about some Safari for Mac tips, starting with one that you can try right now if you're watching this video on your Mac, and that is picture-in-picture. So next time you're on YouTube or Vimeo and you wanna float the video that you're watching so you can keep watching while you're doing other things, then you're gonna gonna wanna double right click on the video and then enter the picture-in-picture mode to pop it out. Now, way back in the very first episode of Unbelievably Useful, I think, Unbelievably Useful Mac Apps, I used to recommend this app called Helium, and it was kind of cool because it was a floating browser and you could kind of get the picture-in-picture effect, but it was a whole separate app. What was kind of cool about it though is that you could adjust the transparency of the window, but this built-in Safari picture-in-picture mode is a lot more convenient. Here's something that's been staring me in the face that I've just ignored or for some reason just didn't perceive or understand that you could do, and it's that you can airdrop a website, which is amazing. Like if you want to share something with your friend really quickly, or you want to switch from working on your iPad over to the Mac or whatever, like you can airdrop a website. I thought it was just for files. This never even occurred to me. One of the simplest but coolest things you can do in Safari on the Mac is pin tabs by right-clicking and selecting Pin Tab. This keeps it docked over to the left of all your other open tabs so you can always get to it quickly and easily. And once you've got a couple of pin tabs, you can also hit like Command 1 or Command 2, etc. to access them even quicker. I love this for lots of reasons, but I especially love that this shrinks the tabs down to just their icons and takes up a way less space. If you right-click on the Safari toolbar, then you'll get an option to customize it. Safari for Mac is currently very minimal, which is cool. I like that. It's built to be really fast, and it is. But maybe the old Safari had a feature or a button that you like to access frequently. Well, you can get that back or add in some other stuff that maybe you want to get to quicker by customizing. Plus, let's face it, it's worth it just to see all those Safari icons get all jiggly. If you're like me, you've probably completely ignored that button in the top right of Safari most of your life, but that's the tab overview button, and it's really cool not because it shows you all your open tabs, that is cool, but it's because you can hit Command F while you're in this view to search through all those tabs. So if you're one of those people who has like 20 or 30 tabs open at a time because you can't bring yourself to shut them, you need them all open, but then they're so small you can't even read them or things get lost, then you go to this view and you look for it using Command F, and that's how you navigate around. One of the most annoying things that can ever happen while you're surfing the internet is for a site to pop up a little box that says, would you like to turn on notifications? I hate that, and I can't hit cancel fast enough. But did you know you can just turn off the ability for sites to even ask you? To do it, you just go into Safari's preferences, hit the websites tab, select notifications, and then uncheck allow website to ask for permission to send push notifications. And while you're there in that websites tab, you might also want to take a peek at the reader mode settings and maybe automatically enable them on certain sites as well. Safari on both the Mac and iOS versions gives you a favorite screen, but did you know that you can rearrange those icons or shortcuts? All you have to do is drag and drop, and then the order will sync between your mobile and desktop versions. And another cool Safari feature that works across devices is iCloud tabs. Whatever device you're using Safari on, if you click on the tab switching view and scroll to the bottom, you'll see the Safari tabs listed from all your other devices. So this is cool because it's one of the ways you can pick up where you left off on another device, but because you can close from another window a tab that's open on a different device, this could also be really great prank material. Now, this particular Siri tip isn't just exclusive to Safari, but let's say you're trying to log into Amazon or something. Well, you can just ask Siri what your Amazon password is, assuming that you've got it saved in your Apple keychain. And that's pretty cool, because it can be a time saver versus digging around in whatever password managing app that you happen to use. And something that's just like an FYI, you may not realize this, but Safari remembers your personalizations per site. So the site settings like page zoom level or location services or content blocking will all stay in place from visit to visit. The more you know. And if you got an Apple TV, you may not have realized that you can AirPlay a video from your Mac right to the big screen without having to mirror your device and have your entire desktop show up. Just hit the AirPlay button right on YouTube. Now, if you're not already familiar with SetApp, then let me introduce you. SetApp is a subscription service for Mac apps. For $10 a month, you get a bunch of great apps without any hassle. SetApp handpicks great tools and then curates them into categories like lifestyle or productivity or creativity, among others, and you never have to mess with in-app purchases or updates. If you're looking to upgrade your Mac experience, then make sure to check out SetApp using the link down in the description. Wow, so that's gonna do it for the first video of 2019. If I missed a certain Safari shortcut that's like one of your favorites, make sure to leave a comment down below so other people can check it out and try it out. One of the last videos I made of 2018 was unbelievably useful Apple Notes tips, and I think it was one of the best unbelievably usefuls ever. So I'm gonna link that up. Make sure to check that out too, because it's really great. Don't forget, you can follow me. I'm at Daily Tech, spelled Daily Tekk on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.